New theme tune there. I was bopping away again. Thanks to Nigel for that one.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Hope everyone's well. Just popped on for a little while. This has been a show in the making for a while now. Our mate Phil has come to town. He said that when it got to Christmas and after, he would give his view on what he really thinks is going on at Spurs. So we've managed to pin him down tonight. We've got him on. Phil, how are you, mate? Nice to see you. Long time no see.
Well, you know me, mate. I like to take center stage right now. So thank you very much for having me on. I did promise you I'll come back in this around Christmas time in the New Year to give you my true thoughts on Tottenham Hotspurs. And like Royal Mail, unlike Royal Mail, I like to deliver. So yeah, thank you both for having me on. And this a long time no see, and I'm ready for the show, mate.
There we go. Phil's in town. Sheriff, how are you, mate?
All's good, man. All's good. The coldness has sort of gone, mate. It's warmed up a bit down here now.
Oh, you're lucky we've got snow down here.
It's freezing up here in Manchester, mate.
Yeah. It's only come in today, though.
Yeah, it's not settled, lucky.
It's raining, though.
Yeah, we've got sort of rainy sleet here now.
Yeah,
it's one of them, isn't it? What can you do? Happy days.
Well, hopefully this show will warm up with a lot of people. Yeah, when we start talking about Tottenham, we'll start warming the people up from these cold conditions.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Either that or the Samaritans are going to be extra busy.
That's it.
Yeah.
I don't care because I've just discovered that my heating was on 26 degrees. No wonder it was so hot in this little bedroom. So I just turned it down a bit. I've had to open the window because it was so hot in here. Didn't realise it was on that hot. I just said to Mark before we started. Madness. But there you go. Lovely for everyone here anyway. Mark, do you want to say a few hellos quickly before we get going?
Will do. Oh, bloody hell. I ain't seen this man for ages.
Big up, Angus.
Big up,
mate. Hope you're well.
Yeah. We won't talk about Celtic and that.
No, all right.
I think they'll be all right now that Matey's gone better.
Who's Matey?
Yeah, the manager, they just sacked him after 8 games, didn't it? They did the Ange. They did the Ange on the floor. They sacked the manager after 8 games, and now Martin O'Neill's back in temporary.
And Martin O'Neill,
right.
Martin O'Neill did well the last time, didn't he?
Yeah. He's a decent manager, though, Martin O'Neill.
Yeah. He's been around the block,
old school, isn't he? Old school.
Yeah. He won. Didn't he win the League Cup for Leicester as well when he was manager there?
Possibly, Phil.
Yeah,
possibly, mate. You could be. I'm not sure. I don't want to say on that one. All I know is wherever he's been, he's always created what I would call very tidy teams. Very stable,
isn't he? He's
but he's a student of what's his name as well, isn't he? He's a student of Brian Clough as well.
Yes.
Along with Sean Dyche, he's a student of Brian Clough and the way that he plays.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Where are we up to? I want a drink from your... Oh, no, I won't say that. But there you go. Happy days. Welcome to Comedy Central. Spot on.
Yeah.
Mark's here anyway. Look, I don't know if I'm pointing the right way. I'll go like that. Mark's here anyway. It's Comedy Central, mate. That's why he's here.
I think that
makes everyone laugh.
I think that relates to Saturday's show.
All right.
When you didn't even realise we'd started.
Yeah. I know, that was mad.
Because you was trying to look something up on your phone about StreamYard.
Yeah, that's the last thing I heard from you. StreamYard.
And you started the show by saying, well, it says on here, StreamYard isn't working. And we were like, live.
Sorry, people, about that.
No. All adds to it.
It's one of them, isn't it?
It was funny.
It's one of them. But there you go. So anyway, look.
Evening.
Oh, Mark, you keep saying hello to people.
Lisa.
It's all right, mate. Lisa. Hello, Lisa.
Big up.
How you doing, Lisa? Hope you're well.
Andrew.
Evening, Andrew. Nice to see you, mate.
Big up, mate. There's some names here I ain't seen for ages.
Angus being one of them.
Yeah, Angus definitely one of them.
Nice to see you, mate. Nice to see you, fella. Hope you're well. Yeah. I take it Martin O'Neill you're talking about.
Yeah.
Angus. There's Nita.
Nita.
Big up, Nita.
Evening, Nita. Hope
Big
you're
up.
well. Hope you're well. Thanks for popping in. There you go.
And Jeffin is on the rise.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. So anyway, Phil, before we start, just how have you been recently? I know that I haven't had a text from you, so I'll assume you're better than what you was because you haven't. But how is your health, mate? How are you feeling at the moment?
Well, I feel a lot better than I was before, mate. When I was texting you, I had to take a little bit of time to myself and try and work through my prognosis and from my illness. And I've done that now, and I've understood it a bit more. Now I'm trying to get back on the even keel again.
Yeah.
Starting to do a bit more of the BMGT, which you see at the bottom, which is our new channel, mine is Corey's, where we talk about movies, games, television. Started to do a bit more of that. Started to integrate more into work, and it's I feel relaxed, mate. Do you know what? When I met you in the summer, both you and the sheriff, and I was relaxed. I was calm. I was just like, the summer window's happening. The amount of times people were asking me my thoughts on it, I kept saying to people, I'll wait to the end of the window so I can have the full observation of the window and see exactly what Tottenham what his plans were, where they were, what they were. But even then, I kept saying to you, it's not about the name of the player coming in, it's the position on the pitch that I'm looking at. It's what are Tottenham buying a player for? What is their strategy? And there were blatant weaknesses in the team before the season started, and I kept saying it to you, like, left back here, we were forcing Jed Spence to play both the left and the right, and I kept saying at the time, you cannot play both positions at the same time. An injury to Odoji or an injury to Poro, and then he's going to be playing, then who's going to cover the other side? Because now it's Tottenham as snookers.
Yeah.
The ball-playing midfielder, people complain about, Tottenham can't attack at home. Yeah, because we've got no player who's proactive in that Spurs 11. There's no midfielder that brings the ball forward without losing it. Bergvall does the same thing every game. This is why I started calling him Pinky in the Brain right now. It's like every game you expect him to do the same thing, give the ball away. Archie Gray is very, very timid. He's not ready to be a number 8 for a Premiership team or a team going for the Champions League. It's not that level. When you look at Sar's a headless chicken. When you look at Bentancur, since the injury, Bentancur has not been the same player anymore. He should have gone as well. But then he's the best of a bad option in the midfield. So sooner or later, that will tell in the way that Tottenham play. Tottenham are a very reactive team, Mark, which is why I've said since Thomas Franks arrived there, Tottenham are a counter-attacking team.
Yeah, I get you, yeah, absolutely. Phil, before we carry on, Mark, I've made a little mistake. I've got to say hello before we carry on because they're tuned in to all the grandkids, Layla, Kylo, Kaylin, Casey, all of Andrew's kids, all the kids, Aaron's kids as well, my grandkids, Lucas, Melody. Hope you're all well. I haven't seen you all because over Christmas, Mark, a lot of them were ill. All over the gaff. Chicken pop and all sorts going on, mate, over Christmas.
Yeah, we spoke on the phone, didn't we? And you said they was all a bit
and I hope they're all much better now. And see you all soon. Love you all loads. Just wanted to say that. Carry on, people. Carry on. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Should have done that at the beginning, but I knew Phil was going to get straight in, you see. And then I ran out of time and Phil started on the mini rant. Do you know what I mean? So
mate. That's what life is about. Life is about spending time with the people that you love, the people that mean the most to you. So fair play to you to stop the show here, to send love to your grandkids, man. I'm so sorry they were ill over Christmas. Because that's a time of year that you want to spend with each other, really. That's what Christmas is about.
Of course.
Yeah, if I can just interrupt a bit. I'm seeing my grandson the weekend.
Good, mate. Excellent.
The weekend, because
you're not buying him a Plymouth shirt, are you, Mark?
No, he's got that already.
Okay.
No, I'm just trying to look at my calendar.
He turned him green and white years ago, Phil. That was years ago.
That was his first birthday. I got that.
There you go. See,
he is 2 next Monday.
Is he? Bless him.
Yeah, and so they're coming up the weekend. So I should be seeing him possibly Saturday and Sunday. So I know
Nice.
they go home Monday. Hopefully I'll see him on his birthday.
Yeah, I'm
when
sure.
they go back.
Yeah. Sure you will. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Excellent. Sorry for stopping you in full blow there, Phil, because I know you actually finished your sentence, but I thought don't let the show go too long, Mark, because the kids will be going to bed soon, and you know what I mean. So yeah. At least it's on record now. If they have gone to bed, they can watch it.
There you
back.
go, mate. Here's a shout out for you.
Yeah, I'll be in the dugout Barbaric anytime. I'll get that lot going. Don't you worry about that. And it's not just none of that from me. And I wanted Thomas Frank, by the way. I've got a big, I'll be the first one to admit. And you lads were on the show with me, with Nige and Dan. Yeah, give me Thomas Frank. Give me Thomas Frank. He'll coach these players. He'll coach them. Whatever the reason is for them not being coached or being coached and not getting round their head what they're meant to be doing, which is passing a ball between 5 and 10 yards generally to each other round the pitch, generally. Not for all the game, but generally. Yeah, that hasn't been done. We don't seem to be able to manage to do that.
No, well, I will admit, mate, I wanted Thomas Frank as well.
Yeah.
After what went on last season, winning the trophy and finishing 17th and all that.
Yeah.
Like, you just wanted someone to come in that would coach the players.
Yeah.
And I was all on board with him.
Mm-hmm.
I was all on board with him, but I'm sorry, but patience is wearing thin with the man.
Right, okay. I'm listening to both of you, yeah, and I'm going to say this to you both. How much time has he actually had on the training pitch to actually coach?
Yeah,
because
well,
remember last season, this is why, I said this last season, I didn't want Spurs to win the Europa League because sometimes winning a cup isn't worth it, right? The fact that they run the Europa League means that we have to play Champions League and Premier League games here, which means the manager doesn't have much time on the training pitch to implement any philosophies or any brand of football, or even understanding each other. There's hardly any time they have on the training pitch to even coach some of these players, and not all players can be coached anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I said at the beginning there. A lot of fans have to come to terms with the fact that the team is not as good as they think it is. And that's what the manager's coming. That's what Thomas Frank has realized. This is why he's chopped and changed, because no player has actually come in there and said, "This is my position," and no players take the claim in that team. Which is why the manager chops and changed, because he's thinking, right, which player can I get the best out of in this game?
Phil, can I ask you a question, just briefly, and Mark, answer too, by all means. I don't know if I've asked this before. We're talking about professional football players here, Phil.
Agree.
You know, this is not 11, 23 to 5-year-olds that have been picked off a park and gone, you're playing for Spurs today, and by the way, there's your manager. Do you know what I mean? These are professional footballers that are somehow, through their career, been scouted for certain clubs, been picked for certain clubs, been transferred for generally big money, and are making big money as professional, which means top of the tree limit footballers. I'm not talking about the elite ones. I'm talking about professional footballers that play Premier League football, should be able, and I don't care who the manager is, to pass a ball 5 to 10 yards to a player with the same colour shirt on. I get you lose the ball from time to time further up the pitch. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying everything's perfect, but I'm talking about what we watch on a twice weekly basis, of our players not being able to progress a ball.
But Mark, we saw that last season. But Mark, we saw that last season. They couldn't control the football under Ange. We've seen that before multiple times. Do you know what, Mark? I'm going to say this to you. I look at the Spurs team here, and their temperament is horrible. I've seen them crack so many times here. It's not even funny. It's not even to the point now where I expect them to crack. When they play a decent team, I expect them to fold. Yeah. That's how bad the team is, dude. So when I'm looking at them not being able to control the football. Yeah, I'm not surprised they can't control the football. A lot of these players that we have here, like Bergvall, for example, yeah, he is so quick with the ball when he has the possession that I expect him to give the ball away because he doesn't even stop to think of his next pass. He just passed the ball straight off.
Yeah. Phil, what happened to the days of, I know I'm going to extremes now, but I grew up on Oddle, right, on Glenn Oddle, right? And this is just an example. I know we're talking about the legend of White Hart Lane. I get that part of it. But when I used to watch Glenn Oddle as a kid, and again, I know football has changed since then, but regularly, I used to see players like Glenn Oddle, Ozzy Ardiles, and I know they're top line players, but they were looking at what they were going to do next before or in case they received the ball.
Agreed. They'd have a
you know what I
in their
mean?
mind, innit?
Little look over both shoulders just to get an idea of where someone is. Is it a flick? Do I hold it? Can I turn and knock a 30-yard pass? Whatever. Do you know what I mean? And that doesn't seem to be in the game anymore. It seems so robotic. What's actually happening?
Cookmaster, yeah, some players have it though. I've got to admit that. When you look at Christian Eriksen when he was at Tottenham, he had it where in his mind, you see the next picture, you see where the player is in his mind, and then picture where to pass the ball. Yeah, we don't have that. I agree with you. We don't have that anymore. A lot of players, it's just like instincts and systems where they just pass the ball to the next person and the next person, and it seems like everybody wants to score the perfect goal as well, Cookmaster. I don't know if you see it as well, where they always want to pass it into the area. No one seems to take wants to take responsibility and have a shot from outside the area. They seem to want to be passing it like a passing into the net.
Well, at the moment, Phil, we don't get anywhere near the goal. Most of the time, we're sat back in our own half.
Because last season, we went ultra attacking. This season, we've gone the opposite. We've gone defensive. But then I said this before Thomas Frank came in. I want to see a manager come in and make Spurs defensively solid. Then you can work on going forward, but make sure you're hard to beat, make sure you're difficult to score goals against, and then you go forward afterwards. So it's the stages of a manager.
Yeah, you would have sorted that bit out. Now can we get the bit where we actually score a few goals?
By the players to go forward, Mark, because name me one player in the Spurs midfield that takes the ball from the midfield and dominates the midfield, or takes the ball from the defense and facilitates the attack.
There isn't one.
There's not one.
Right.
And you got to remember as well. You got to remember as well. We've sold our top scorer from last season.
Well, I was coming on to that. I was coming now. Now Kudos is injured now. They're talking about 2 months out. Johnson's been sold. And this is the part that then pisses me off. Sorry for swearing that little bit of language. Right? Nothing, is incoming that we know of. Don't get me wrong. I know Spurs did a couple of deals, Oddie Burr being one of them. No one knew nothing. Bang, it's in the paper the next day. We bought him. Done. So there could be something going on in the background. There's little whispers I've heard about Lucas Paqueta from West Ham for 30 mil. Yeah, I've heard that one. No doubt there's been others as well. But Johnson's gone. He's gone now. Yeah, Kudos is injured. Now you're struggling on the right. You're just going to end up putting someone that plays on the left on the right more than likely. Do you know what I mean? Now,
there's no plan. This is the sadness of it, Mark. There's just
Carry on for a minute, Phil. I'll be back. Carry on, Phil.
Go ahead. I was going to say there's no plan from the club in this right. A lot of the times you say four signings came in, but did they fix any position on the pitch that Tottenham desperately needed other than Paulinho and Kudos? Did they did they buy a left winger when you knew that Son was leaving?
No.
And Son was aging. No, there was no plan behind it. Was there a plan behind 6 years ago? We sold Dembele. Yet you still haven't got that all action midfielder to drive the midfield. No plan.
No, there doesn't seem to be one, does there, Phil?
No, and this is the thing. You can sack the manager all you like, right? But at the end of the day, right, if there's no plan behind the manager or the signings that the manager is making, then what is the point in the manager being there?
It makes you wonder that.
It does, and this is why I say it's institutionalized failure from the top down. If you're gonna, and this is another reason. I said this to you yesterday, Cookmaster, and I'm gonna say it now, yeah, to the lovely people in the audience.
Go on, mate.
Right, Spurs can't get a win now manager because if you bring in a win now manager, yeah, Tottenham as a club, yeah, can't supply them what they need in the player quality. Because them players don't want to go to Tottenham Hotspurs. We saw it with Conte and we saw it with Jose Mourinho. Right?
Yeah.
That leads to once they fail, yeah, that leads to 72 days without a world record, 72 days without a manager. That is the resulting consequence here of bringing a manager that you knew wasn't going to work out. So why bring them to the football club in the first place? Now, the second one I'm going to give you, yeah, is a project manager. To go for a project manager, yeah, it's a painful build. Do Tottenham fans have it in the patience and the willingness to pay the same prices as Arsenal and Chelsea fans for a project manager, and that's going to take years to see the fruits of his labour?
Yeah.
Are they willing to do that?
Well, there is one other.
That's on ENIC.
There is one other answer, though, Phil, and the other answer is ENIC just sell, and they sell to someone that comes in that wants Tottenham Hotspur to be a trophy-winning club.
Right. That's exactly the answer.
There you go. And for me, that is the answer.
Because both doors are actually closed. If you can't have a project manager and you can't have a win now manager, that means no manager will work underneath you. So therefore, I've said this 100 times here, it doesn't matter who the manager is. They will all fail in the end.
Yeah.
Because the club itself here is set up for it, and the fans won't pay the high prices to watch a project to fruition. And why should they really? But
no, I get you, Phil.
To be honest, you've only got to look at the home games now. The home attendances are getting less and less and less. You've had your boy phoning you up, haven't you, Matt? Saying, I can get you tickets on the exchange.
Yeah.
Any game you want, basically. I remember when that stadium, the stadium had just opened. Those tickets were like rock and horse poo.
Oh, yeah.
You could not get them. That's when Pochettino was there.
Yeah.
The tickets, and this is when we were sort of on the slide with Pochettino as well. But the tickets were nigh on impossible. Literally impossible to get. Now you can go whenever you like, more or less. As long as you've got a membership, you can get on the ticket thing.
Yeah, but Sheriff, imagine paying more to watch Tottenham now, than you were paying to watch Tottenham under Pochettino.
Yeah, I know. This is why a lot of people are getting fed up with it.
Exactly.
Because Tottenham seem to be a club, right? The bricks and mortar, everything's in place for that stadium now. The income is vast. How vast, I don't know. But you look at what goes on there, the concerts, the NFL, the boxing, the rugby and that goes on there. All sorts goes on at that stadium. The income from all of that is immense. But we're not seeing the what we were promised when the stadium was being built. This is the game changer. It's taken a long time for it to be the game changer, and we're just going round and round in circles.
Yeah, but Sheriff, at what point do we actually stop here? We actually look at it and say, well, if ENIC had any inklings or wanted to make Tottenham better, they would have done it years ago. Why wait 25 years to change it now?
Yeah. Well, there's no. The thing is now there's no excuses because the bricks and mortar are in place. Yes, all right, we still owe money on the stadium, and that's got to be paid off every year. Blah 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 blah. But there is no reason now that we cannot be one of the best in the Premier League.
Right, I'll give you a reason.
One of the best in the country.
I'll give you a reason. On the outside world, right. A lot of the team, a lot of players in Europe and a lot of teams in Europe will be looking at this record because these are three nasty little records that are set at ENIC's precedence. The first club to go 510 days without a signing. The first club to go for a British transfer. Well, hold on, wait a minute. The first club to go for a whole British transfer window without a signing. The first club and only club I've ever seen this happen. And I said this to Haz yesterday, lovely. Jose Mourinho was sacked by Tottenham Hotspurs 5 days before a final. He got his next job at Roma, right, before Tottenham got a new manager after sacking him. Have you ever seen that in football where a manager's been sacked here, got a new job, and the team that sacked him are still looking for a new manager? 72 days without a manager. Not once, but twice. So what's that telling you from the outside perception? Managers don't want to come to Tottenham Hotspur. They don't want to risk it, dude. Because they come to Tottenham Hotspur, any decent manager who says, who's looking at Tottenham thinking, nah, I don't want to take that job, mate. It's a poison chalice, right? Potential players will be looking at it thinking, there is no direction at the club. Why should I risk any part of my career coming to Tottenham Hotspurs? This is the reality of Tottenham Hotspurs. So when fans go, let's go get a big manager, remember when the big manager fails, 72 days without a manager is a world record for to look for a manager.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
How can I put it? Phil, where are we? Are we just broken now? Is that how you look at it as a fan? I mean, we talk about, signings now in the January window, and I look at it and I don't think there's a lot that Spurs can do in one window, that's going to change much. Not from what we're seeing on a window, not unless they're going to go and buy 7 or 8 players in January. And like you say, players are not going to want to come because, but on that point, what you said, a cycle has to start somewhere.
Right.
So is this the cycle now? Is this the start of a cycle with Thomas Frank? How long do you put up with it as a fan? And you as a collective, you say, well, we're not having this. Do you know what I mean? Or is it a case of, look, let the geezer do his thing for the year, couple of years, whatever it might be, see how he gets backed? Because it wouldn't surprise me at some stage if Thomas Frank comes out and does an Amorim or does a Maresca and says the type of things that they've said and ends up getting the boot. Do you know what I mean? Now one manager's done it, or 2 managers have done it. I'm sure there'll be lots of others that do it as well.
Yeah, but Cookmaster Conte done it 2 years ago.
Yeah.
He called out the board, didn't it?
Yeah.
And it's the same thing Amorim did, and it's the same thing that Maresca done. So, But as for Thomas Frank here, right, I'll come to the recognition as a Spurs fan of, I can't blame the manager for institutionalized failure. It wasn't him that left Tottenham without a left winger. We're lopsided because all our attack comes down the right hand side. Unfortunately, now it's going to have to change with Kudus being injured. But all our attacking threat was down the right hand side because the left hand side is null and void. But I said this in the summer, we didn't buy a winger to replace Son.
Yeah.
Right. And like I said with Jed Spence, you're having to force him into a position that's not his, as a replacement for Adoshi, because Adoshi is near enough injured, comes back for a few games and gets injured again.
Yeah.
So you're forcing a round peg into a square hole with Jed Spence. And this is, for me, it's in most of the positions on the pitch. The other day, Archie Gray was playing as a 10. He is no way, shape, or form a 10. Yeah, because of the lack of quality in the squad and the lack of players available to the manager, he's having to force a player into a number 10 position that he's not a 10. So I can't blame him for that when it goes wrong, because this is the options that he was left with. And this is why I said in the summer, my look wasn't at Thomas Frank, because I was already I said it doesn't matter where Spurs finish in the league, to be fair, because this is the manager's first year. He's going to have to identify the squad, see what players he can work with and what players he has to get rid of. And the players he has to get rid of, they have to go. And I don't want to hear excuses from Spurs about, we can't accept this fee for them. No, get them out. Right? And the other one was, I'm looking at him and I'm thinking, your football is defensive, and you've made that defensively solid. But I'm just looking at some of the parts for me. I'm just looking at Thomas Frank and thinking, mate, you're doing a decent job with what you've got, because I don't rate the squad.
It's like you said earlier, for me, Phil, it's disappointing because I thought he could be that bloke that on the coaching side, it would change some of the players, not all necessarily, but you'd see an improvement on what we had under Ange. Do you know what I mean? And I think you're spot on. We're playing twice a week. They don't have the time they've done, I don't know, whatever they do, their gym work, their warming up work, once, twice a week, maybe, if you're lucky. When is there? I would imagine any coaching's done on a board. Would you not say, Phil, in a changing room? That type of thing. And they're not actually, practicing this stuff on the training pitch because they're either flying or getting ready for the next game or doing whatever they're doing. I don't know. I'm not making excuses for them because
no. It's not an excuse. It's just the reality of it. It's not an excuse. It's just the reality of every week you're either playing a Champions League game or you're playing a domestic cup game or you're playing a Premier League game or and this is the disadvantage of qualifying for Champions League. Sometimes, right. If you have the squad for it, like a Man City, you can rotate players and there wouldn't be a drop off. But at Spurs, you can't do that. If we were to drop players for the PSG game, for example, Mark, what do you think would happen?
Does that say it all?
There you go, isn't it? Exactly, there you have it. But then fans would complain. They'll be like, why don't we play the best team, the best players against PSG, and then why don't we play them on the weekend? And it's not an 11 anymore. This is a squad. This is another thing I found this season. It's not an 11 anymore. It's a squad game, and there could be over 60 games in this season. Players are going to get injured. There are international games all over the place. So, how can I? Even when Tottenham have a week off, like when we go in Champions League early stages this year, right? Even after them weeks of the early stages, the players flew off to South America for international duties or flew across Europe for international duties. So he doesn't even have a stable unit in there to be able to coach around with.
The thing is, though, Philly, comeback I'll have on that is that every top team has these problems.
Agreed.
It's not just us. If you want to be a top team, mate, you're going to get all your team are internationals and they're going to be called up for their countries.
Agreed.
The thing I've got against Thomas Frank at the moment is that out of our current squad that won a European trophy last season, let's not, all right, they were 17th as well. Let's add that in there. But which one of our players can you actually say that he's made better than they were last season? So I think they're all bloody worse.
You feel they're all worse?
Well, the style of play is, it's like you take the Sunderland game, for example. When we started that, the first half was okay. We went 1-0 up, again a defender scored. Again. It doesn't seem like we got naff all up top. But we pushed Sunderland back, or they sat back. It was one of them. But then 60 minutes come around, he took off Archie Gray and he took off Wilson Odobert, who were doing bits on the, like, helping containing Sunderland in their own half. Brought Polina on, who's too scared to go across the halfway line. He just sits there.
Yeah, just a natural DM.
Yeah, and he brought on, who was the other? Bergvall. And then Xhaka got into the game, and you could see him growing and growing and growing. And the next thing, they'd equalised.
Right, okay.
We just regressed.
Granit Xhaka is a decent professional, the Sheriff. Yeah, he's been around the block. He's been to Arsenal. He's been to Leverkusen. He's been around for a little bit. Yeah. Right, so he's a seasoned professional, and then we want to play him up against Bergvall, who is 19 years old, and we want to know who's going to win the contest between the two of them. That's not even a contest. That's a mismatch all the way around.
In the first half, Philly, we had them pressed back in their own half. Sunderland didn't really come out that. Whether that was by design or whether they sat back, I don't know. But the second half, whether it was their manager said, "Come on, they ain't really offering nothing either. Just go for them."
No, Sunderland showed us respect Sunderland showed Tottenham respect in the first half. That's why, or too much respect in the first half. That's why they pushed back, and we had possession in the first half. But then, even when we had possession, Mark, right, when the ball goes forward to the Pigeon or to Mawani, do you actually feel they're going to score? Because I don't feel they're going to score. I look at both of them, and I think both of you are both a waste of space. Both of you up front are just useless to me. This is why I said I wanted a striker in the summer and a hold-up striker in the summer, because both of them, are...
To be honest, this is the state of the club. We went from 3 or 4 years ago, or 5 or 6 years ago, prime Harry Kane, prime Sonny, to look what we got now. You could combine Solanke and Pigeon, stick them in a blender and blend them up, and you wouldn't even get half a Harry Kane.
Agreed.
Not half.
Agreed.
And this is how far
it's the level of signing Spurs make here, which was always worrying to me. Why would you, from Harry Kane here to the Pigeon, why are you making that level? Why is it has to be always from the top bit to something that's dumpster? I call it dumpster diving, mate. I grew up in the 80s, as you know, Cookmaster. Yeah, I'm gonna use a cartoon from the 80s. Yeah, it's like watching the Raggy Dolls, mate, and going in the reject bin. It's that kind of level of signings that Tottenham make. Let's just be real here. I've looked at some of them and I think these are really bad. But why are Tottenham buying them? Why are you spending £40 million of money on someone like Archie Gray, where you know he's not ready for the league? He's not ready for we're not ready for what you need him to do, right? And the best thing for him would be to go on loan, and learn his position. Why waste 40 million on that? There's no plan in place for it. Yes, you buy youngsters, but you buy youngsters to supplement the team, not at the expense of the first team. The first team comes first. You buy what you need, and then you supplement it with the youngsters afterwards. But
as I said last season, Philly, I don't mind Archie Gray and Bergvall coming in if there'd have been top signings coming in as well.
They should have come first.
Of course. Of course.
It's like today, right? We were linked. Spurs were linked with Conor Gallagher. Conor Gallagher is the perfect signing, really, for Tottenham. He's a leader of men. He's been a captain and is a strong role model on the pitch. Someone like that for Archie Gray. I know, but what I'm saying, no, but what I'm saying to you though, is someone like that, who's desperate for. Because by the way, he's desperate for first team football. Because Atletico, have got a plethora of midfielders there. He can actually come in and he's going to look for game time because the World Cup's coming up. He might want to break into the England team. So there is a chance for it, Mark, if they want it. But what I'm saying is, someone like him, a player of his level, would have actually allowed the likes of Bergvall and Archie Gray to be able to take the time of their development where it's not forced upon them. But right now, because of the level of the squad that we have and the options available to the manager, we're basically having to blood these kids before they're ready. And that's damaging not just to the Tottenham team, but to the player themselves. And that was always my issue with Spurs buying young players.
Yeah, it seems like we've gone down the road over the last few years, especially of buying youngsters, in the hope that they develop into, you know what people were saying about Bergvall before he'd even kicked a ball for Spurs. Well, Barcelona were in for him.
Right.
So he must be top, you know what I mean? And I'm like, listen, I like Bergvall as a player. I just think he's been with us, been playing first team football a couple of seasons now. And I know you can say underhand, it was just playing whatever way. Again, he's been in the team at 18, 19 years old and almost, on some occasions, been asked to run the midfield.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's like, you're right, Phil, he's not ready. He's a decent player. He's one of them players that, maybe you're 1-0 up and you bring him on. Do you know what I mean? Right. You need someone to be busy and shut people down and that type of stuff. And I'm sure he's got lots of other things to his game. I see in him that he can do it. He's just not there yet. Do you know what I mean? He's one 100%. Of those players. And I want him to be coming on, when he's really needed to come on. Give him a purpose. Do you know what I mean? You're coming on, son, now, 60 minutes. This is what I want you to do. Yeah, so he can learn and progress the different parts of football, you know.
100%. That's what. But yeah, 100%. That's what they should be doing. Coming on the 20 minutes to go, but there's no pressure on them to have to perform. And so anything they do perform, right, is basically a bonus, right?
Yes.
So. That's what they should be doing. Any decent club would be doing that. Even when we had Dele Alli, he came in. He didn't just get dropped into the first team. He was actually nursed into the team, if you remember rightly. And then he was given a chance to stake a claim in the first team. That's what we should have been doing with the young players that we have. But because the squad quality is so poor, we're having to force these players' development, and that to me was always wrong.
Yeah. We've definitely been going backwards for the past few years and not replacing. I mean, you know, the big one for me is I always look at when Moussa Dembele left.
Yeah.
Has he ever been replaced? Really?
No.
Has he ever been replaced? And we're talking about now we're 7-8 years down the line.
Right.
You know, and I'm not necessarily talking about that level of player because you all know, and I'm sure most of the chat know, Dembele was a legend at Spurs. Unbelievable. Moved position. You know, he was sort of a left-sided attacking midfielder, ended up playing that role that he played at Spurs. They couldn't get the ball off him, Phil. And that's the type, you know, Binny Guy in the chat further down. Sorry to say, Mark, because I know you clicked down. But Binny Guy was perfect. He's just put what he said. All our kids are young, immature, look baby-faced. They're not men. Do you know what I mean? We need men in our team. We need some leaders. We need someone that when you do have 2 or 3 youngsters on the pitch, you can guide them a little bit, you know? And you can say, but hang on a minute, Mark, Archie Gray's on 75 grand a week. Shouldn't he be knowing what he's doing? He's not going to know everything. You know, at the moment, the way he's playing all over the gaff, because he's like you said, Phil, 1 week he's in a 10, the next minute he's partnering someone in a 6, then he's in the 8. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I tend to call him the modern day Phil Neville, mate. He's a jack of all trades and a master of none. He's been, what was he last season? Centre back last season, left back, right back.
Yeah.
The only place he never played in the defence was in goal.
Well, there you go.
He was all over the show. And you go back to Moussa Dembele, you speak to anybody who was in the Tottenham team when he was there, they said, who's the best in training? And they used to say, Moussa, you can't get the ball off him. It's his ball, he's keeping it.
What Cookmaster was saying earlier is spot on. It's not about Dembele, it's the type of footballer he was.
Yeah.
If without that dominant midfielder, Mark, without that person that put their foot on the ball and control the ebb and flow of the game, to slow it down, to bring it forward, without that archetype of midfielder, you're missing something a key component to the midfield, right? And without that, right, I don't expect Spurs to be on the front foot. I do not expect that because that person there controls the ebb and flow of the game. That's how important Dembele was. Dembele being next to Wanyama allowed Eriksen to be freer because Eriksen could just push forward there, knowing Dembele was behind him to be able to bring the ball from the defense to the attack, knowing that he wasn't able to give the ball away. So that freed Eriksen, which is what I said earlier. With that 8, it would have released the likes of Xavi Simons and it would release the likes of Paqueta if Spurs were to sign him, or a Maddison, because that 8 would be the one who channels the ball forward, giving them the space to be able to operate. But because we don't have that kind of player, this is why it's lacking for me, and why the attack doesn't look fluid enough for me, why the midfield to the attack just looks poor. And that's not even going with the forwards yet, where I know the forwards, I don't trust any of them to put the ball in the back of the net, even if the chances came up anyway. This is why I'm saying to you, the forward line and the midfield are massive issues, and they need to be solved.
You got to remember, though, we are missing 3 of our major.
But even Kulu. But even Kulu, it's not a Kulu. I would say it was an 8. Because I didn't like Kulu on the right wing because Kulu doesn't have the speed to run down the right wing. It's not really a winger. But it's not, it's not a 10 yet, but he's a creative player like a Maddison, where you can see the picture of the ball in his mind, so you can pass to the striker up front. But I would look at him as an 8 because he can go left or right. But even then, I still don't think he's not a strong 8, but he'd offer more options than we've got now. But Maddison is a massive loss because Maddison, I'm sure Thomas Frank would have Maddison play like he had Damsgaard for Brentford last season, where Damsgaard was given the license to bring the ball forward, and I'm sure he would have done that with Maddison. And that's a massive miss. And what's your first? Solanke? Oh my gosh, I'm not even going to mention Solanke. Yeah. That's Chesney Hawks in disguise, but it was one and only good piece, and that's all I'm going to say with Solanke.
Yeah, it's that was going to be my next question, actually. Mark, you stole my thunder a bit there. I was going to say to you, both of you, do you think that Spurs are, I don't know, they obviously know when they think Kulu and Maddison are going to be back, right? But as you well know, when you've been out for a long time, it takes a while to get back, if you can, to what you were. You know, match fitness is a totally different thing, getting your touch back, all that sort of stuff. Do you think Spurs are almost half waiting for the Kulus and the Maddisons and the Solankes to come back, to not necessarily buy 2 or 3 players in the window if they can only get away with buying 1?
To be honest, though,
just asking, I don't know how far they are away, Mark, you know.
From what I've heard, you're talking about March at least. And so by the time they get match fit again, that's the season done. So you forget this season. Yeah.
That's what I didn't know when they were back. You know, some people were saying Kulu was after Christmas, then it was January, then it's February, and Maddison had a chance of being back, like you say, at the beginning of March. And,
I was only on about like Madders and that, because Madders is the one with the serious knee problem.
Yeah.
Like I heard he was like March to April time. So you just will write your season off, because by the time he gets match fit, bloody FA Cup final will be on. You know what I mean? And then that's it, done.
Yeah.
So you just will write the whole season.
I'm going to say this now, right? I love both of you for this one, but this is the question, right? Now, who is to say Maddison comes back to anywhere near the player that he was before his injury? That's a massive injury to be taking, you know, right? ACL injuries, Bentancur, this is what I said at the time, and Danny agreed with me at the time, and both of us came to this conclusion. Bentancur would never be the same player again after the ACL injury, because that's a massive injury. They take their toll on their career. Right. These are career-defining injuries. There is no guarantee. So for Tottenham to playing the game of we're waiting for Maddison to get back, that is a wholly dangerous, because Maddison may never be that player again. And this is the bit that they need to be looking at. This is why I said it might as well buy another 10, and hopefully Maddison gets somewhere close to where he was. But it's the same thing with Liverpool, and Van Dijk. Do you remember how when he had his ACL, how long did it take for him to get back to where he was again?
It's a big injury, Phil, like you say.
Right.
It's a massive injury, and it also is a massive injury depending on where you play on the pitch as well. You know, Van Dijk's a centre-half. I'm not saying he doesn't move about and track his player and do whatever he does as a defender. He does, and he's still doing it well, But to be a midfielder and cover the mileage in your when you've had a knee like Bentancur had, and then he had his ankle, the Matty Cash tackle, and he had that as well. You know, I think he's done well to get back to where he is now. To be quite honest with you, I had an ACL and it finished me.
That's exactly it.
Don't get me wrong, I was no pro footballer, but you know, when I done my knee, I was done. I never played football again.
Exactly. This is the reality of the situation. You have to look at it and say, right, you've had a massive injury. You've been out for over a year. So even when you come back here, will you be that same player again? Hopefully, chances are you become that. You get close to that level. But it's not guaranteed, because you just don't know how damaging the injury could be. And some injuries, another one I'm going to say, is some injuries play in the player's mind as well. So when they come to express themselves on the pitch, yeah, they kind of reserve themselves because they in fear, yeah, that if they do let themselves go, yeah, they'll get another injury. And I felt that way with Sessegnon, that even though he came back to full fitness, yeah, the injury was still in his mind. So when he would run, yeah, he would run within himself because just in case, yeah, he pulls his hamstring again. And I feel that, and that could well be the same with the players coming back from injury. You just don't know.
And you got to think as well that when you said ACL injury, everyone is different.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some people have just come back and get on with it as though it never happened.
Right.
It's like you said, Phil. Some people are going to have it in their, they're going to have it in the brain, aren't they? I don't want to stretch here and do that in case it goes again.
Yeah. I don't want to say this live on air, but what you've put up on the screen there, because I don't want to accuse people of doing things, whether they've, I don't know if he's done
left
it or
it there
not.
on purpose.
I heard, Binny Guy, the same thing
I heard
you
that
put on there about 6 weeks ago.
Yeah, I heard
Exactly
that.
what you've put on there, and they're covering it up as an injury.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I've heard. The same thing,
yeah,
whether
I
it's
heard
true or not.
It was a long time before Christmas that came out.
Yeah, yeah.
There was rumours that he'd failed a drug test.
Yeah,
it doesn't rain, it pours, innit?
That's what we're. You know what it's like, though, Mark, Phil and Mark. We're probably the 2000th person to have heard it down the chain.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like.
No, I heard he wasn't injured, mate. I heard he wasn't injured. But we really got one player, yeah, blowing up balloons, yeah. So I'm not surprised if another one decides to fail another testament because I'm, as you know, yeah, my channel is BMGT, right? And we do movies in that, yeah. And big up the lovely Queen Ellie, yeah. We were doing Stephen King, and I'm listening to Basuma, yeah, playing with balloons, and I'm thinking of it, yeah. Pennywise the Dancing Clown, and my man in the sewer, yeah, asking if kids want to float. That's the kind of stuff I'm getting with balloons, bro. And that's what I see when I see Basuma and these the storylines. It's like, oh, my man's just, he doesn't want to concentrate on the football. He'd rather blow a balloon. Okay, fair enough.
There you go, mate. One more question before we wrap it up tonight, chaps, because we're only going to go for an hour or so. Are we still the same Tottenham as regards to what we buy in the transfer window? Like, we've had a few comments, you know, wait till the last few days. We'll pick up the, you know, what no one else wants and stuff like that, you know, and we have done it before. On many of an occasion, we've done a deal that suits, or Daniel Levy did a deal that suits Tottenham at the time, you know, players at the end of their contract, whatever. What do you two chaps, and in any order, expect in the next 25 odd days, whatever it is, when the window closes? I don't know, it might be longer than that, but whenever. What are you expecting from Tottenham? Are you expecting the same usual? Are we going to go and make a couple of statement signings of players that they're talking about of that level? Or will it be a case of we'll just get some squad fillers in to try and do a job?
Now, I said this on Saturday. You know what was said, you know, when Enoch made their statement. If they really want to show me that they've changed, this is the opportunity to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah.
You know, so if they don't, then, you know, but it's, put it this way, will I ever trust them? No, definitely not.
That's a good way to put it, Mark. Yeah.
Will I ever trust them to do the right thing without thinking of the back pockets? Definitely not, because we've had 25 years when all they've thought about is their back pocket. Have they got a chance to prove me wrong? Yes, they have. Are they going to do it? We'll wait and see.
Yeah.
You know, because I can't say, yeah, we're going to bring in Buddy, Messi and whoever the best players are in the world these days, you know, because we know that's not going to happen. But you'd like to the thing is with them that I've always said about them is there's never enough communication with the fans. They never come out and say,
agree with
look,
that
this
too.
is the plan. This is the plan. Look, if they come out tomorrow and said, look, like it or not, we're sticking with Thomas Frank for the next few years. This is our plan. This is what we're going to try and accomplish. Fair enough. Then everyone's got to put up with it. But you don't hear anything.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree with all of that, Mark.
there's never a project or anything. You know, we just get a couple little like ultra like scripted things like twice a year or something, once a year.
Yeah.
You know, well, one of them will come out and say, well, this. You know what I mean? But like, there's never ever a plan, is there? They never come out and say, look, you know, this is the way it is.
No.
You know, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to try to do this. We're going to try to do that. It's just, we're just like mushrooms, mate. We're kept in the dark and fed a load of bull crap.
Yeah,
You went dark then, just as you said that, Mark.
Sorry?
I know that saying.
Yeah.
That sounds like my mum.
What's your thoughts? What's your thoughts, mate? What's your thoughts with it? What do you think is going to happen over the next month or so?
Right, can I say? Right, okay, here we go. I reckon Land's just going to go on private vacation. Spurs are going to go in last week of the window, start running around looking for players, whatever's out there, and with a scattergun approach and hoping, throwing crap at the wall, see if it sticks. That's just personal. But like I said before, yeah, I'm going to call Spurs the Santa Claus right now. Seeing is believing with Tottenham. I have to see it to believe anything that comes out of this football club. I've over the years, yeah, I've called it the little club that cried wolf. Yeah, so many. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. Well, do it. Don't talk about it. Do it. Don't talk about it. Implement it. I've heard enough over the years of we're gonna buy this player. We're gonna go hit. Don't talk about it. Do it. Back it up. This is all I've asked for Tottenham Hotspur. Back it up. If you're going to go out there and say that we're a big club, yeah, act like a big club. Yeah. Don't talk about it, act like it. Over the years, yeah, we've seen the same old thing. Even in the summertime, yeah, we watched Tottenham dust the summer. They went after Morgan Gibbs-White, but there was nothing in the background. They went after Eze, there was nothing in the background. The last week of the window, they panicked and they went and bought Simmons and they went and bought Mawani. It's the same thing last January, where last year, they panicked, they got Danzo, fair enough, Danzo worked out, they bought Tail. That one didn't work out, but it was a scattergun last minute approach. And that's what I look at Tottenham. There is no plan in place. It's just, let's see what's out there. We see if we can throw some names. And even Tail didn't want to come to Spurs, if I remember rightly, at the end of last January. So if Taylor is telling you, I have reservations about joining Tottenham, but join Tottenham only because Bayern told him there'll be no football matches for you, there was no chance of you breaking into the first team. What's that telling you?
See, you read that last comment?
Yeah, I just see that one. Leave off, Steve, will you? That'll seal it. I think that will just absolutely seal it. But there you go.
That Jim on loan would seal it, I think.
Listen, before we go, we haven't spoke about it either. But is it Bournemouth tomorrow night? I'm getting from
it is.
It's Bournemouth, isn't it, tomorrow night? What's your thoughts about the game tomorrow? Are we going there pragmatic, hoping to nick a 1-0 again, or a 0-0 or a 1-1? Is that how he's going to set up again tomorrow? Do you think? Have we got anyone back tomorrow? Is Simmons back tomorrow?
Yeah, Simmons should be back tomorrow. He's had his free game.
Game Christmas. He's done his free games, I think, hasn't he? Yeah.
Perfect time to get sent off, by the way, isn't it? Around Christmas time, innit? You get time to go home and watch some Christmas movies with the kids and stuff, man.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Why not? Indeed.
It's amazing how many players was getting their fifth booking in that when that was still a thing just before Christmas. Convenience. Let's just say convenience.
Go on, lads. Give us a score for tomorrow night and how you think it's going to go. Bournemouth. Is it away? Are we away tomorrow, aren't we?
Yeah, away in Bournemouth.
Yeah.
It's on down the road for me, man.
Yeah. What do you think, Mark, score-wise? Going to nick anything out of that tomorrow?
Can you see us scoring?
Can always score from a set piece, Mark.
Well, yeah.
All right.
To be honest, if we do score, it'll probably be a defender.
The way
Davis again, ole ole. But to be honest, it's the pragmatic way that he sets up.
Yeah.
Even if we weren't 1-0 up, you can guarantee we'd all be sat back in deck chairs at the back. You know, there'd be no intent on going forward anymore. That'd stop immediately.
Yeah.
And then it'd probably finish 1-1.
Yeah.
But
do you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to surprise you, because I'm interested in seeing how Bournemouth adapt here with life without Semenyo.
Oh, he's playing tomorrow, apparently.
Yeah, because he's having his medical at Man City today, I believe it is.
Well, yeah, but I believe
he can't leave till they've got a replacement or something, can he, Mark?
It was on Sky Sports earlier that they believe he's going to play some part tomorrow as like a farewell.
Right. Okay.
And so, to be honest, he's going to want to put on a show.
Yeah, that could be trouble because he'll want to put a performance for his new bosses that he's going to start working with. Yeah, I hear that. But I was interested in seeing how Bournemouth adapt to life without him. But now that he's going to be there and it's his last game, this could be. I'm going to say 2-1 Bournemouth. You know, Tottenham have a good away record because of the way that the team's reactive. Yeah, we can actually just sit back and allow Bournemouth to attack us and then hit them on the counter.
Yeah,
that might be in Tottenham's favour, especially if it's at the Amex.
Yeah, it's away in Bournemouth.
Yeah, Bournemouth away.
So if we're playing on the counter attack, it would suit Tottenham Hotspurs. Let Bournemouth come forward and attack you, and just basically when they lose possession, just the pitch
on the break.
Well, to be honest, Kudus is out now, though, so I can't see us scoring at all unless it's a defender.
This is the problem now. We're struggling for outlets now, aren't we? You got Simmons coming back, but he's not turned out so far to be what I know he can be. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? He's nowhere near the mark yet for me, Xavi Simmons. He's got a way to go yet. You know,
the problem with Xavi Simmons, I said this to you in the summer. I don't know if you understood what I said. The problem with Xavi Simmons here is that when I watched Leipzig last season, he wasn't the man that got Leipzig out of trouble. He was basically one of the people that went with the shit. So he didn't have that in him to be able to say, look, Leipzig are suffering, so let me be the man to try and break them from the funk. And he kind of just went along with the flow. And this is why I didn't like Xavi Simmons coming to Spurs. I was like, you don't have that about you right now to say, look, announce yourself as I'm the man, I'm going to carry the team on my shoulder. So if Spurs fans are expecting that from you, it's not going to happen.
We haven't got anybody like that anymore.
We're really struggling at the moment, aren't we? You know, defensively, to be fair, I don't think we look too bad. It's not like we're not having 25 and 27 shots regularly on our goal. Do you know what I mean? We look at a much better unit at the back. I still think it can be better than what it is.
First and foremost, the defensive unit, Romero. We got to talk about Romero. Oh my word! What did Romero do in the last game? That pass that went to Brian Drogba. When that first one, he got away with that one because really and truly, Spurs could have conceded in that moment. But the Liverpool one before that, people call him world class. I'm going to say it now: world class liability. That is what he is. Right? When I see him, I call him the wild bull now. I look at him and I think opposition teams can wind this man up for fun. If I was an opposition player, I would just wind him up for fun because he reminds me of like a bull and a matador. It's like you get the matador with the red flag. It's like wave the red flag and watch Romero go, bro. That's exactly what I look at when I see him. He's just too much. if a team offers 60 million for Romero or 50 million for Romero, I would take that now.
It. Yeah.
I would take that now.
I get what you're saying, Phil. I was just talking about, like, as from last season, as much as, you know, people don't like Thomas Frank's football, and at the moment I am one of them, he has made us look more of a defensive unit at the back than we was last season, if you know what I mean, because he's had a Paulinho sitting in front as well. Do you know what I mean? And I agree with Binny. Binny's put up here, you know, even VDV's been bang average this season.
Yeah.
Now, for me, there's certain performances where he has been. There's also been performances where I think he's played really well, you know. But again,
he's got nearly our top scorer, hasn't he?
Yeah, we talk about consistency. Do you know what I mean? And I think for me, when I watch Spurs this year, as pragmatic as we are, I don't think we look as threatened by the other team as in front of goal. Do you know what I mean?
Agreed. It's not like one ball is going to split us open. Last season, it felt like one ball over the top or one ball down the sides, and Tottenham was split wide open. Well, now, right, you can see there's a shape and there's a structure at the back. Yeah. At least the players at the back know what their job is, and they do their. The only problem I have, is like I said, with round pegs in square holes, sooner or later, that takes its toll, or that takes its price on you. Like I said with Jed Spence, Jed Spence is not a right back; he's a right back player on the left hand side. So there's stuff in his game that he's not going to be good on the right hand side. So when he has a bad game on the left hand side, because he's not a left sided defender, a left sided fullback how can that be Thomas Frank's fault? Because that's what he's left to work with. At the end of the day, what are you expecting him to do?
I expect him to put Ben Davis on, Phil.
Right, that's it. And then Ben Davis has been here 11 years, and Ben Davis can't run for toffee. So therefore, if you have a player with pace running at Ben Davis, we might as well be doing the 4 hours only with the Hail Mary, mate, because that's the end of that race. That race is done.
Yeah, but hang on a minute. I thought Ben Davis was up there for man of the match against Sunderland. He did bloody well.
Ben Davis starts off well, Sheriff, but as the more games he plays, the more worse he gets. But the initial games, he starts off well. But if you look at through the time at Spurs the more that Spurs depend on him, the worse he becomes. This is what I'm saying, I don't rate Ben Davis. I've seen him for 11 years. There's nothing in him that I haven't seen already for the last 11 years. And year 8, he was getting twisted like a pretzel against Saka. Right. What is he going to be doing in year 11, bro? That's what I'm going to be saying, brother. No, when Saka starts running at him, what's he going to be doing?
I'll be honest with you. Now, I've said this since this channel's been going. I will not have a bad word said against Ben Davis, because for me, he's Mr. Average. He's always your 6, 7 out of 10. He's never a 2 or a 3, or he's never a 8, 9, 10. He's in the middle.
I get that, Mark. I get what you're saying. Totally. Sorry to butt in. I get what you're saying, but the time comes, and for me, if you've not been a successful player in your team after 4 years, let's say, you've had a 4-year contract and you haven't got to where, you need to be, players should be moved on. But Ben Davis, for me, is one of those players that should have been not been here 6, 7 years ago.
I'm not saying
he is still here, and I agree with you. He is that player that just comes on and gives you 6 or 7 out of 10. There's levels, Mark. He's all right against your average.
He's all right. Right.
If he comes up against someone like Phil says that's going to pretzel him up, he gets pretzeled up. And this is where you're at with it.
Look, is he good enough? No.
No, agree. Yeah.
Let's get that. Is he good enough? No.
Yeah.
No, he's not.
But what I'm saying is there's levels to this, Sheriff, in the fact that, I admire Ben Davis as a professional footballer, but I'm looking at him and thinking, you've been here 11 years. In them 11 years, you've never been a first-team player at Tottenham Hotspurs. You never wanted to challenge yourself to be a first-team player anywhere else. Even going to like Wrexham or somewhere else and be a first-team player, you've never had that in you to do that. That's where my criticism of him comes from. It's the fact that I looked at him and I thought, you've been here 11 years, you've never been a first-team player. When will it come to you that maybe footballer career is a very short window. Let me go and try it somewhere else and see if I can make it somewhere else and establish myself there. He didn't have that. When you look at someone like Harry Kane, for example, Harry Kane, as good as he is there, still wanted to test himself and go to Bayern Munich and push himself and see how far he can go. Kyle Walker had it. They stayed at Tottenham for a little while and then thought, you know what, I'm not going to achieve what I want to achieve at Spurs here. Let me go to Man City or somewhere else and push myself and see how far I go. But Spurs have become like a comfort blanket to players like Solanke. He knows he's never going to get another club better than Spurs. So therefore, the desire and the hunger isn't there. The same like the Pigeon. They know that he knows he's never going to get a better gravy boat than Tottenham Hotspur. So the fire and desire isn't there. And that's a problem to me.
I understand, Phil. I understand exactly where you come from. Big up to Alex. Big up to Mark Taylor as well. Yeah. Listen, we're gonna have you got other stuff you want to say, Mark? Is there anything you want to pipe up with? I haven't given my score, by the way. I think it's going to be 2-0 Bournemouth. I'm sorry to be on the negative with it.
I didn't want to be negative. I hope
we win 2-0. I just don't see where our goals are coming from.
No, I didn't want to be negative either. I never gave a score.
I just don't see it. I'm struggling with it. And the only thing I can see is if he sets up like really pragmatic, plays with two in front of the defenders, and hopes to hit them on the break or from a set piece or something like that. I don't know. But
the thing is, though, it's like I said when I never even give a score, and unfortunately, I hate doing this because I don't want to predict us to lose, but I'm going to go 1-0 Bournemouth. I just don't see us scoring. Unless it's one of our defenders pops up from a corner, Romero or Van der Ven, someone like that, because Van der Ven's got to be he's got to be up there as our top scorer, hasn't he?
Yeah, he scored a few. Paolini has scored a few, hasn't he?
Yeah, who else out of our... Who out of our front? Well, Richie's got a few.
I think he's got 6, isn't it?
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, Van der Ven must have nearly that.
I don't know.
That's a worrying stat that our defence are more clinical than our forwards.
Yeah.
And that just tells you everything you need to know, really, by the way, is that our defence are more clinical than our forwards. You might as well play them up front, to be fair. They're doing a better job than the forwards that we have currently.
Yeah, and the last click on that Mark's going to do. Hello, Coover. By the way, big up to you, sir. Yeah, I agree with you, Coover. We'll see. We'll see about that. I know that Evelston's just come in, so big up to you as well. The comment from Cyril McCoy says it all for me. It just says it all. They don't like the pressure at Spurs. It is easy that way. Yeah, and let me just get in there as well. I don't think, for the people that are watching, I don't think Spurs' only problem is their manager and what's going on the pitch.
A lot more.
Tottenham's problems, let me tell everyone, right, and I'm not in the loop. I've just been a supporter for over 50 years, right? I've seen the bad times at Tottenham, like Mark has, and probably like Phil has, right? I can go back a long way. Right, this club is broken. Yeah. Let me tell you, from Vinay to the tea lady, right? No one knows what they're doing. Yeah, scouts don't know what they're doing. Boardroom don't know what they're doing. Manager don't know what he's doing. Sorry to say that, Thomas. I hate pragmatic football, but it's just like one bit she's been here. And I know it's only half a season. We've got to find a way of being able to take the pressure off the back line in the game and start, if we're not going to progress the ball at a rate, at least start keeping hold of it for a spell. Learn to play the 5 and 10 yard passes. And for the life of me, again, I can't understand as professional footballers why we are not able to do that. I just can't get my head around it, So it is what it is. At the end of the day, look, we're going to wrap up. I'll tell you something, right? It's Bournemouth tomorrow. I'm sure there'll be lots of other streamers on tomorrow night. But I'm telling you now, Thursday, the 2 marks will probably be on again. We're going to talk about Bournemouth. Hopefully Phil's about. We'll get Phil to jump on again, have a chat with us, And we'll continue this conversation as well, because I think it's very important for people to understand it's not just about the football. It's not just about the manager. It's about everything.
Yeah.
Everything at the club is absolutely busted. Mark, over to you. Did you want to say anything?
No, Johnny, that I completely agree with you, mate.
Phil, any last words? Any last words?
Hold on. There's something I want to say here, Mark.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to say now, because this is the analogy that I give Sava and I give you now, right? It's easy to come out, right, when everything is when the sunshine is out and it's rosy in the garden, like Tottenham did early in the transfer window. And you remember in the summer, it was easy to come out and say, we're doing this, we're going to back this manager, we're going to do this. And it's when the T-Rex burst out of his paddock, like in Jurassic Park that's when you start to see just how real the shit is, dude, and just how much they actually mean their words. Because now Thomas Frank is in trouble. You've not seen Vinay, you've not seen Lang, you've not seen Paratici. Why have they gone radio silent when we're in trouble? When we were doing well, like with Angie, at the first 10 games, you heard Levy come out and say, "We got our Tottenham back." But when Andrew was in trouble, where was Daniel Levy to tell me that he got his Tottenham back? And it's the same thing with Vinay, and with Paratici and Lang. They were easy to shake their backside when Tottenham were doing well. But when Tottenham are doing badly, where are they? They're nowhere to be seen. And Thomas Frank is out there on his own, as the first line and the only line. But that to me is not backing a manager. That's just throwing him out there in front of a bus while you man sit up there and.
Agreed. I agree with you, mate. Phil. Let me just say, big up to Lee Payne. First time I've seen you in, Lee. Big up to everyone. Big up to Henry, who's just popped in. Big up, Henry. Thanks for popping in. People, make sure to like and subscribe to both channels here, to the two Marks, to Nige at Pure Coys as well. Make sure you get over to him, give him a smash. And to Phil. Phil, for anyone who don't know, just let anyone know about your channel, Phil, and the name, and so they can get over and subscribe to you.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, our new channel is called BMGT, and we talk about movies, games, and television. Me and Haz Spurred, we did the Digimon. Welcome to the Digimon world yesterday. Me and Corey did our best movies of 2025 and the TV series that we're looking forward to in 2026. Come over, smash a like and subscribe. And smash a like for these two lovely gentlemen above me, and for Nigel as well, and for our good mate Dan Analyst as well.
Yeah, Analyst as well.
Thank you very much for having me on.
Phil, anytime, mate. You know you're more than welcome. We'll try and get you on later in the week after the Bournemouth game if you're about.
Thank you very much.
And I think Nige might be about as well. So we'll get Nige on as well, and we'll have a good old chat about it. Big up to everyone that's been in the chat today. We've had a bit of a hiatus over the last few weeks, but we're going to try and get back into it and at least deliver a couple of shows a week to you. And a few odds and sods in between as well. So big up to everyone in the chat. Thanks for being here. We really appreciate you all. Thanks to Philly for coming on tonight and giving his honest assessment. And I'm sure there's more to come. There'll be a part 2, I'm sure, of his honest assessment of where he is with Tottenham Hotspur. Big up to the Sheriff as well. Lovely to be on with you, Mark, again. I'm sure we're going to be cracking on soon. Big up to everyone. Please subscribe and like to all the channels. Especially this one, by the way. You lot, sort yourselves out, have a word with yourself. And on that note, all I've got to say is, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Show.